Dear viewers, this novel is written by me, Ahmed Awad, the fans of Space Power website, our Facebook page, Spirit of the Pen, my blog on Blogger, Spirit of the Pen. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated.
The Awakening and Rebirth. Heroes defeated evil, but truth's complex. The Serpent wasn't completely defeated. In a moment of weakness, it transformed into a beautiful, mysterious, and evil human girl. She was named Lilith, and began using her beauty and mystery to conquer the world anew. Lilith, possessing an irresistible allure, sought to destroy humanity indirectly. She used her cursed venom, which she had spread across the land long ago, to control weak souls and exploit the energy of fear and hatred emanating from human conflicts. She also began gradually rebuilding her army, an army of cursed creatures that couldn't be easily destroyed. Her control over Arian, the handsome young man who carried a part of Kalus's soul, had been controlled by Lilith even before his birth. Long ago, her venom had penetrated his veins. Arian suffered from a severe internal conflict. In his heart, he held deep love for Elena, but he feared approaching her, afraid she would be infected by the venom that afflicted him. He tried hard to stay away from her so she wouldn't see the evil that controlled him. Arian was the only one who knew the truth of what happened in the past, but he couldn't do anything to protect the future from the coming evil and darkness. The Black Venom Army. While Lilith was subtly infiltrating humanity, she was building an army of cursed creatures. The black venom she had spread in the land began transforming into ruthless creatures that attacked villages, destroyed cities, and returned the land to the Dark Ages. Elena, who lived in the heart of the city, was unaware of what was happening outside. She spent her time in the royal training hall, training to become the strongest and best. Elena would occasionally sneak out of the palace. One very dark night, after successfully sneaking out, Elena was suddenly attacked by the Black Venom Army. Elena was the best sword fighter in the kingdom, but she couldn't defeat the Black Venom Army. Elena didn't know that this army was made of black magic and could only be destroyed using magic or the legendary dragon swords. Elena fought fiercely, but to no avail. Every time she defeated one, the magical black venom brought it back to life. Elena began to despair in this fight, as she couldn't get rid of the Black Venom Army soldiers for hours. But suddenly, Arian appeared, wearing war armor. With every step he took, red flames flew around him. In moments, the Black Venom Army soldiers evaporated before Elena's eyes, leaving her in a state of shock. Elena, still shocked, couldn't recognize the person who rescued and helped her, but she didn't hesitate to shout, "Who are you?" Arian removed his war mask and replied, "It's me, Elena. Don't you recognize me?" Elena was shocked. How could Arian be so powerful? But Arian interrupted Elena's silence, saying, "We must go from here so you can understand what's happening. You must remember the past." Arian was watching from afar, but without intervening. At one moment, Lilith appeared behind Arian and whispered softly, "Go and kill them, my dear." Arian moved very quickly, like lightning, towards Elena and Arian. Arian realized the murderous intent emanating from his friend Arian and rushed to confront him. Elena, still in shock, saw both her friends fighting. Elena couldn't believe what was happening around her. She tried with all her innocence to stop this bloody fight between them, but Arian coldly stabbed her, as if he didn't know her. Elena felt great pain. Her heart was aching intensely. How could the person she loved be so evil? Arian was enraged at Arian for stabbing Elena and unleashed great fire around Elena, killing anyone who tried to approach her. Arian carried Elena in his arms and said, "We must leave from here." The flames around them intensified, and they disappeared. In a distant cave around the city, Elena cried. "Why did he kill me?" Arian replied sadly. "Don't worry, he's all right." Arian held a beautiful sword in his hands and turned to Elena, saying, "This is the great Elara's sword. Only through this sword will you know the truth." Elena took Elara's sword in her hand, and suddenly felt great energy running through her, so much so that her wound healed completely. Elena was in shock. What was happening? Elara's memories were flooding her mind like a torrent. Thousands of years of memories passed in the blink of an eye in Elena's memory. Elena fell unconscious from the horror of the memories that passed through her imagination. Arian realized at that moment that Elara had awakened inside Elena. Elena's vision. While Elena was unconscious from what she had experienced, she had a vague vision. In that vision, she entered a dark cave with a foul smell. Inside the cave, there was an old man chained, his eyes shining with power despite his apparent old age. She knew he wasn't just an ordinary prisoner. He was the teacher of the three heroes, the great dragon himself. "Elena," the man said in a weak but powerful voice, "I was defeated once, but I wasn't completely defeated. I am the power of the dragon. If you don't save me, darkness will swallow everything." Elena woke up startled and shared what she saw with Arian. They quickly realized that this old man was the dragon who had lost his power and transformed into his human form after the first battle. But Lilith had managed to capture the dragon and planned to use his blood to fully restore her power. Elena and her friend Arian decided to set off to search for that cave to free their old teacher. They both realized the magnitude of the evil that pursued them and sought to erase life from this earth. And they knew that embarking on this journey wouldn't be easy, and that their path would be full of difficulties, and that they would face thousands of the Black Venom army. Battles on the way to the cave, Elena and Arian embarked on an arduous journey to save the dragon. But their path was not easy. During their journey, they reached the edge of a large mountain. The surprise was shocking. Large numbers of the Black Venom army were waiting for them. Elena looked at them and smiled. Elena turned to Arian, repeating a magic phrase, and a circle of red flame emerged. That circle was an incantation to summon the ancient Elara's sword. Then, with a sharp look at Arian, she said to him, "Watch and learn." In the blink of an eye, Elena disappeared from Arian's side. Elena's speed blurred. Arian watched. All you could see were the heads of the Black Venom army flying. The sword Elena carried was a magical sword that sealed the Serpent's black magic, so that the evil soldiers could not be resurrected. Lilith, who was connected by her black magic to the Black Venom army, could embody any of her soldiers for a short time. Lilith knew that Elena had obtained Elara's power and memories. By activating the embodiment incantation, Lilith moved to the battlefield. The battle was very fierce, so much so that the earth was shaking from the force of the two swords meeting. Everyone on earth could feel the power of the ongoing fight between Elena and Lilith. Lilith was hundreds of times stronger than Elena, but the nature of the embodiment did not allow her to fight with her full strength and did not last for more than 5 minutes. Elena, despite her strength, barely withstood Lilith, and when the embodiment incantation ended, Elena fell exhausted from this great fight, and Lilith returned to her original body. Arian intervened at that moment, unleashing a great flame that burned the rest of the Serpent's army. "Elena," Arian said after the battle, "we cannot continue like this. If we don't discover Lilith's weakness soon, we will perish." On the other side, when Lilith returned to her original body, evil energy emanated from within her from intense anger. At the same time, Arian was experiencing a bitter conflict within himself. The dragon's energy and Kalis's memories on one hand, and the Serpent's venom that spread throughout his body on the other. Lilith knew that Elena and Arian were on their way to the cave to free the old man, so she increased the venom flowing inside Arian until he became her servant. After Lilith controlled Arian, she opened a magical portal to emerge from the other side inside the cave where the old man was held. Upon her arrival, the old man realized that Lilith had set her plan to eliminate them all in that cave, using black magic and offering thousands of corpses she had collected in the cave as a sacrifice for the return of the serpent's body. The old man realized that the serpent would not return unless Lilith obtained their blood and the dragon's magic that had sealed her thousands of years ago. Reaching the cave, Elena and Arian finally reached the cave where the dragon was held captive. The cave was filled with traps and black venom soldiers who tried to attack them. Inside, they found the dragon chained, his eyes gleaming with both sadness and power. But before they could free him, Lilith suddenly appeared, with her malicious smile and seductive beauty. "Finally you've arrived," Lilith said defiantly. "Did you think you could stop me? Arian is with me, and evil runs in his blood. You are fighting what cannot be defeated." The great battle, Elena and Arian faced Lilith and Arian. Lilith was the strongest of them all. She alone was capable of eliminating both of them. However, the nature of the evil within her wanted to make them kill each other. Lilith looked at Arian and said, "Kill them." Arian immediately moved very quickly, wielding his sword towards Arian and Elena. It was a difficult battle for Arian, as his opponent was his childhood friend and a descendant of Kalis. Elena, on the other hand, was trying with all her might to face Lilith, who was far superior to her in strength. As the battle continued, the injuries on both Elena and Arian's bodies increased. As their blood spilled, the cave began to shake, and the darkness inside intensified. At that moment, Lilith took out a bottle filled with the dragon's blood and broke it on the cave floor. Darkness began to emanate from within the cave at a faster rate. Lilith realized that only Arian's blood remained for the rebirth. At that moment, the old man shouted quickly, "Break these chains, or we will all die." Lilith walked towards Arian, chanting a magical incantation, drew a black dagger, and plunged it into Arian's chest. At these moments, Elena, with Arian's help, broke the old man's chains, who quickly transformed into a dragon breathing fire everywhere inside the cave. Lilith's body began to dissolve and evaporate, while the cave began to grow darker. Elena and Arian ran towards Arian, who had fallen after Lilith stabbed him. The dragon shouted, "Quickly, we must get out of here." Lilith performed the rebirth incantation. "We have no time left." Arian carried Arian and headed towards the dragon, who opened a magical portal, and they left the cave. After they left, the cave floor began to crack until a black magical gate opened, emanating the stench of death and blood. The giant serpent's head appeared, but suddenly, something unexpected happened. Even Lilith hadn't realized what had happened. To be continued in the next chapter.